Crews are searching for survivors after a flash flood rushes through Hilldale and Colorado City. Officials confirm 8 people have been killed by the floods, while several more still missing.
Fox 13 News has learned Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox will visit Hilldale today to offer support on behalf of the state. Fox 13's Zach Whitney joins us live from Colorado City with the latest on the search efforts, and it's been raining down there again. One thing they do not need during this search, Zach.
That's right, and that's kind of the big concern at this point is all of this rain. It comes off and on, but when it comes hard. And that's the problem, is that's what brings those flash floods. You can see the crews are still trying to work to clear some of the areas that have been affected by debris. You know, we're told that some of these areas had debris upwards of 10 feet deep. And so they're just trying to get in there and clear a lot of that stuff out. That's what they've been doing all night long. And those search efforts have been continuing all night long. Now, this flood happened Monday evening, about 5 o'clock in the evening. That family was coming home. They were in 2 cars. They had gotten to a point where they thought they were safe. And that was kind of the big caveat of this particular flash flood, because Short Creek is no stranger to flash floods. They get them from time to time, but this one in particular came, and it came hard, and it took out a lot of the bank. And it took out the bank where these 2 cars were sitting, washed them into the Short Creek. And that's when crews jumped into action to try and save them.
It's a wake-up call to the community that it's real. You know, we get these big floods that go down through, as long as I can remember, down Short Creek. You know, we know that a 100-year flood's going to come sometime. But you know, this is tragic because I don't recall this kind of fatalities with the flooding.
There's still active floodwaters, and very dangerous, very treacherous. The banks are caving off. More significant flood than we've had for quite some time. Obviously, it took them off guard. They were well back from where the flood channel usually is.
A total of 16 people, we're told, are involved. 8 of those have been pronounced as dead. 5 are missing and 3 recovered. And one of those recovered spent the night in the hospital. And again, a lot of the concern now is just this rain that's going to bring on potentially some more flooding. And that's the concern, is that it's going to wash things farther down the creek. You know, some of the victims that have been recovered have been washed out more than 2 miles downstream. And so there's a lot of ground to cover. And so the goal right now is just to organize those search efforts and try and get people out so that they can cover as much ground as possible as long as the weather permits. Dan Carey.
Zach, how were they able to rescue these 3 people who have survived from this? Was this bystanders, or were rescue crews able to get out there pretty quickly, or what?
You know, a lot of it was just bystanders. You know, there were a lot of people around at the time, and so they saw this happen very quickly and were able to jump into action. But also, you know, rescue crews. You know, rescue crews came in and they went to work very quickly. So it was that quick response that got out there and were able to save those 3 people. Unfortunately, the others were washed farther downstream.
And Zach, what do we know about the victims and those missing? How many adults and how many kids? Do we know at this point?
You know, at this point, we only know a little bit about some of them. Last night, the mayor of Hilldale told us that this is one family. 3 of those adults that were pronounced dead are mothers, and that several other are children. Now, the youngest being just 4 years old.
All right, well, hopefully the rain lets up enough so that they can get into that debris and hopefully find those they're looking for. Thanks a lot, Zach. Appreciate that.